And we're live on a Sunday night. Some last second camera shenanigans, which I have hopefully fixed. It hopefully looks okay. And rocking and rolling with a live stream. Starting with my orange juice. Yeah. What a day, what a day, what a weekend, what a time. What a time to be alive we find ourselves in, where wild and unpredictable things happen on a daily basis. I don't know. Too much, isn't it? The world's on fast forward, or kind of suffering information overload and news overload because too many things are happening all at once. That's my humble opinion anyway. Too many things are happening. So, universe, you basically need to slow down and ideally have less things happen. If that is not too much to ask for, right about now, we could, I think it's safe to say, the majority of humanity could do with fewer things happening at the same time. Just like so many things. Well, this is the time that we live in. I was trying to think, there's a quote it was making me think of, and I'm going to try and find it now. Lord of the Rings quote. I wish. Was it? So when Frodo's talking to Gandalf about the ring, and Frodo says, "I wish the ring had never come to me. I wish none of this had happened." To which Gandalf replies, "So to all who live to see such times, but that is not for them to decide. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given to us." So, yes, that's my deep and meaningful thought. If we had some control over things, we might choose for all this stuff to not be happening to us all at once, but we do not have such control. All we have control over is how we react to the things that are happening. So, I think that's a cornerstone of cognitive behavioral therapy as well, trying to embrace situations, understand that you can't change circumstance, you can't change things that have happened or are happening. You have control to an extent to your own reactions to those things, but you definitely don't have control over the things that are happening. I know some people have been exposed to really badly applied cognitive behavioral therapy, and it's been absurdly simplified to the point where it's basically quite insulting, saying or sometimes it gets interpreted as all your problems are your fault because of how you're reacting to things, which is not how cognitive behavioral therapy is meant to be administered. But I know some people have felt that. Nick, hello, good evening. How are you? Just cruising into a Sunday evening. Justin, you think we've gone from the news making us depressed and angry to being funny for the past few days? Yep. We live in meme-worthy times, quite honestly. I mean, now that it appears to that stupid get-together they had to announce Trump's nomination for the Supreme Court, where they all went along to congratulate themselves on what pieces of shit they were. And, of course, because they're governed by ideology, not reality, virtually all of them were maskless and not social distancing. And they were grabbing and hugging each other. And there's so much video of people who have subsequently tested positive to the coronavirus, just hugging and embracing and kissing people. And it's just like, yeah, you guys, you're just a fucking plague factory. That's what you are, a fucking plague factory. And it just goes on. Nick, you want to share a drink, mate? Yeah, we are somewhat restricted, my friend. I'm just starting easy, at least. It's orange juice and lemonade. Orange juice I squeezed myself. So I could, of course, drink it, but I like to dilute it a bit. I think just pure orange juice is too much sugar. So add some lemonade to it and give it a bit of fizz, give it a bit of zing. It's quite a refreshing beverage. It's, doesn't hurt to take it easy. I didn't do a live stream last night because I had date night with Mrs. Angry, when I did have a couple of cocktails. They were actually milk clarified cocktails I'd made, and they were a bit of everything. They're a wild old concoction, and they were still pretty good. And then Friday night on the live stream, kind of hit it pretty hard. I was tired for a lot of Saturday because for whatever reason I got up early as well. I was up by 7:30 on Saturday, which might not have been my best idea, but I did that anyway after staying up till, 1:32 a.m. And it was not hung over as such, but it was just like the body was definitely saying this might be good if you didn't do that every night, or definitely don't drink more than you drank last night, or we'll make you actively sick. But I survived. Justin, will the Supreme Court nominee test positive? Well, she was there with all of them, and fuck me, so many of them have tested positive already. I think there's probably a few others in denial, but yes, we are headed into an interesting week by the looks of it. It looks like, and it may still be less than this, but it looks like at the very least, Trump is going to get a dose of the COVID that knocks him the fuck about, and he will probably have a long recovery ahead of him. He'll probably get quite sick for an extended period and have a long recovery ahead of him. I think that's the most likely outcome. It is, of course, extremely plausible he's going to fucking die. The more remote possibility is that he gets no worse, and he has a very, very mild case. So, yeah. Okay, Celtic King. Aidsy called me earlier saying he wanted to join tonight, but I haven't heard from him since, so who knows? Nick, have I never... Okay, Milk Clarified. First, I have a YouTube channel where I make cocktails called Angry Cocktails. You should go and check it out and subscribe, where I make a bunch of milk clarified cocktails. But in simple terms, if you make a beverage, it does not actually have to be alcoholic. I was making them alcoholic. You make a beverage and it has some acidic content. The easiest thing is citrus juice, lemon juice, lime juice, pineapple juice, orange juice, grapefruit juice. And acidic juice is one of the components in the drink. And of course, lots and lots of cocktails have a citrus juice as a primary component. You add that to milk, and in a ratio of about 4-1. So like if your drink is 4 ounces, you add it to 1 ounce of milk. If you make 400 mils of your beverage, you add it to 100 mils of milk, that type of thing. And that will curdle the milk. The acidic content of your beverage will curdle the milk. The milk will separate. And Traditionally, we regard curdled milk as a bad thing, but it is, of course, the source of cheese. So what you do, you let it settle for a while, like half an hour to an hour, maybe longer. It will separate out, and then you pour it through a coffee, like put a coffee filter in a funnel and pour it through, and the curds will settle at the bottom and act as an additional filter, and they will it will filter a lot of the color out of the drink if the drink has a distinctive color, and will soften the edges of all the flavors in the drink as well. So if your drink has some harsh edges, it will get softened by the clarifying process. And also the milk separates into curds in ways. The curd filters your drink, but the whey is added to your drink, and whey is more viscous than water. So that's another neat aspect of a milk clarified drink. The consistency is different. It's a bit more viscous. It's a very sort of silky, has a nice mouth feel, as they say. So I'm a big fan of milk clarified cocktails, basically. Charlie's too early because of daylight saving. Well, you're all that weirdness in Queensland not doing daylight saving. I'll do the possibly unpopular opinion. I actually like daylight saving to get us more sunlight in summer. I like it. Yeah, Justin, Trump being too sick to campaign is honestly, I think, the most likely outcome. I honestly think that's by far the most likely outcome, that he will be too unwell to campaign. And you're going to say, will it get to the critical point where he actually withdraws, where he says he may be too sick to fulfill the office of president, and in all probability, the Republican Party will then have Pence as their presidential nominee. I think Trump being unable to campaign because of ill health is almost certain. I think Trump withdrawing from the presidential race is a quite high probability. I think Trump fucking dying is a significant possibility. And I think the least likely outcome is he does not suffer a very severe case of the Rona, and he is able to campaign and, if not make public appearances, at least make on-camera appearances and campaigns as usual. I think that's actually quite unlikely. It's possible. It's unlikely, though. Yes, Charlie, that's right. The extra hour of sunlight bleaches your curtains. It's bad. Justin, you prefer the extra light in the morning, helps you get up earlier. To each their own, but to that I say fuck that. So what have I got to get up for? Fucking job? No, I want the extra, and this is just my preference, I want the extra light in the evening when it's my time. If there's extra light in the morning, I don't do a fucking thing with that. I get no benefit from that. But I do get some significant benefit from more sunshine in my own time. So that's, for me personally, why I like the daylight saving. Justin, what if Biden wins, Trump dies after the election, we have President Pence for 2 months? That is actually a significant possibility. That is what would happen. There'd be a significant possibility if Trump doesn't die before the election and Biden wins, but Trump dies after the election, until the inauguration in January, Pence would be president. Glee, well, all the right wingers are catching the Rona. Boris and Trump, and of course Bolsonaro in Brazil. He seems to have suffered the least, actually. Like Johnson was on the danger list for a while. Like, he was never on a ventilator, but he was fucking sick, and the rumors persist he's going to resign after he gets the result he wants from Brexit because he does not have the health to fulfill the office of Prime Minister. But yes, if Scummo gets the Rona, I won't shed a tear. Dutton already got it, but he recovered, which, was the most likely case, obviously. And the most likely case, if Scummo gets the Rona, is that he will recover. But, who knows? To me, he's just such a non-entity. I don't even really think about that with him, but it's hard to avoid. Jesus, it's really fucking significant. Trump getting it. So Justin, denying the science and advancing your ideology ahead of science has all sorts of repercussions. And one is if you don't take proper precautions around a highly infectious viral disease, chances of you getting said viral disease go way up. As you see, in the absence of a vaccine, and we may never get a vaccine, that's something that everyone has to remember. We have never successfully created a coronavirus vaccine. This is a new strain. A lot of work has been done in the past, but never reached a vaccine. And of course, an absolutely unprecedented amount of money and research has gone into vaccine research this time. And a whole bunch of people are saying they're confident they'll get a vaccine. And we may even have definitive news of it before the end of the year. But I mean, I hope so. I hope it's sooner rather than later. And, obviously people way smarter than me are working on it. And people who are experts in that field are putting all their experience, skill, and expertise into doing it. So, hopefully we get the result. But in the absence of a vaccine, over a long enough timeline, at least you'd expect like over a year or two, you'd expect at least 75, 80% of the population to contract the virus. And with numbers that big, this is the mysterious visitor to the kitchen. With numbers that big, you're going to get a lot of deaths, unfortunately. Just as should world leaders have access to an experimental vaccine. Vaccines too late. I wouldn't take an experimental vaccine because there's a risk of something going wrong with it. Experimental treatments, and that's apparently what they're doing with Trump. Rambling Johnny, theme of the weekend, Mask of the Red Death. Yes, for those who are unfamiliar with the Mask of the Red Death, it's a very old story where basically a bunch of rich people shut themselves off in an enclave while a plague ravages the poor outside, and they continue with their decadence, feeling they're safe. But they are not, and death comes to visit them, and before the end of the night, they all die. So this whole thing with the fucking Republicans having their stupid COVID festival, aka the announcement of Trump's Supreme Court nomination, real Mask of the Red Death vibe about it, quite honestly. Charlie, you thought you woke up at 5:30, but it was 4:30. Oh, your phone switched. Does it not know about Queensland, or you're not set to Queensland? Yeah. But I'll be honest. I couldn't believe Trump didn't contract COVID months earlier, because he just was constantly around people who were testing positive, and he was not taking precautions. And I was just going, how the fuck is he not catching it? people all around him are testing positive. Herman fucking Cain died. And it's finally happened. I do have to admit to some surprise that it took so long. Now, it's the weirdest thing about hearing the news that Trump had COVID is like, because it was simultaneously shocking, like, oh my God, and at the same time, so fucking obvious. It's like, oh, of course he's got this incredibly infectious disease that people around him keep testing positive for, and he keeps not taking precautions. Of course he's got the fucking disease. So to me, it was this weird double feeling of it was a shock, and yet it was super obvious and even very overdue. It was a very weird sort of multiple feelings going on. So at least that's how I took it. I don't know about anyone else, but that's how it felt to me. Simultaneously a shock and incredibly obvious. So that's the thing. So, yeah, it's the old, what are you going to do? And in case you can't guess, because I got this gear on, I am going to make a cocktail video during this. I only made 2 of the 3 I meant to make on Friday night. So I'm going to make the 3rd one tonight. I've actually made the drink, and I've got to record the talking to camera bit. This is the weird thing. The making of the drink is both simple and complicated because it's only got a couple of components, but it's milk clarified. So it's just, tequila or mezcal and blood orange juice, and then clarify that, and then add a bit of red Italian aperitivo. Justin, what will Trump say about it once he recovers? That depends completely on the severity of his illness. And like I said, just based on available evidence, the most likely scenario is Trump gets very sick indeed and has quite a long recovery. And by quite a long, I mean being really fucked up for 6 or more months, because that's happened to a lot of people who are way younger and way healthier than him. Just really weak, real chronic fatigue, a shortness of breath for months and months and months after recovery. So there appears to be some elements of COVID that engender some quite serious chronic illness. And as one of those things, the longer it takes for Trump to recover, the more likely he's not going to recover. It's like most people, when they get it, shit gets real serious in the 2nd week. So, so far as we know, Trump is still in his 1st week, in fact, the first half of his 1st week even, and is starting to show worrying signs of getting quite ill. That does not bode well for him, because most people get way, way, way fucking sick in the 2nd week. And so if the indicators are that he's got a bad case of it, his next week's not going to be fucking good. And so someone his age and weight, if he gets a bad case, if he survives, like even if he doesn't go on a ventilator, even if they just have to like basically have him in intensive care, if he's still able to breathe on his own, and he recovers, then someone his age and weight is probably never fully recovering, but is probably really fucking unwell for, I don't know, like even a year afterwards. So it's not looking good for him. Carl Peter, depends on the person's blood type. I'm not aware that that's actually the case, Carl. Again, I am not an expert, but I've not seen any significant reportage that blood type is tied to severity of cases. Justin 538 gives Biden an 80% chance of winning. They also gave Clinton a 70+% chance of winning. 538 does not predict outcomes. 538 has an algorithm where they measure likelihood of outcomes. They don't say, and therefore this is going to win. They just go, this. Okay, honestly, Carl Peter, I was going to say, oh, I'm not going to fucking look. Why should I fucking? But I will. I will look it up. I'll look up blood type COVID. Who's these guys? There's a lot of talk about it. This is Harvard. Okay, it's a Harvard study. Let's have a look. Blood type is not associated with a severe worsening of symptoms in people who've tested positive, report Harvard Medical School researchers. Findings published in Annals of Hematology dispel previous reports that suggested a correlation between blood types and COVID-19. There you go. There were early reports that weren't substantiated, and a more thorough analysis said that's not real. So there you go. But don't hold it against you for saying it depends on blood types, because as I looked on Google, there were a lot of media stories about, blood type affects COVID, but it doesn't. Or to say more accurately, there's no evidence that it does. Evidence should help put to rest previous reports of a possible association between blood type A and a high risk for COVID-19 infection and mortality. There you go. Statistical analysis determined independent effect of blood type on incubation and or death of those infected patients showed no significant connection between blood type and worsening of the disease, between blood type and need for hospitalization, positioning requirements for patients during intubation, or any inflammatory markers. So in other words, no. And there definitely were reports. There were definitely a lot of reports, and they're wrong. But, there you go. It's worth looking into these things. The reason I initially, before looking it up, said, no, it's not, is going like, okay, I've been paying a fair bit of attention to the reporting, and I feel like if that had been established, I would have seen it a lot, and I haven't. But then having looked it up, there's appears to be fairly conclusive research that says it's definitely not the case. But there's the thing, man. So much we don't fucking know. We don't know. We've got indicators of long-term effects are super bad, but we don't know. We don't know if we're going to get a vaccine. There's a lot of hope that we will get a successful vaccine and or successful treatments to reduce mortality and reduce severity, but we don't know. That's the bit that sort of does my head in, I guess. That all this way down, we've been dealing with this all year. There's just so many unknowns, and we get million deaths worldwide. The actual numbers are certainly much higher than that. It's just a lot will go undetected, unreported. Same as happened in the 1918 flu. The numbers for how many died are incredibly ambiguous because we just can't know conclusively. So up to 35 million confirmed cases worldwide. India rapidly closing on the US. And I think India is significantly underreporting their cases. Not on purpose, not maliciously. I just think with their massive population, there simply isn't the infrastructure to test widely enough. I did actually see some Indian doctors saying they think the real number of cases in India are anywhere from 4 to 10 times higher than they have positive test results for. So that's a cheery fucking thought, isn't it? Brazil's closing in on 5 million cases. I always thought Brazil was in terrible trouble because their leader was so fucking bad. Sort of piece of shit who actively wanted poor people to die. Charlie, making some wasabi Bloody Marys. Why not? Why not indeed? Indonesia. What is reporting for Indonesia? Indonesia is reporting 300,000 cases. Again, Indonesia is a huge archipelago of islands. I'm not sure what sort of infrastructure there is for testing. I'm not sure how reliable their numbers are. They're reporting 11,000 deaths. Again, probably much higher, but it's extreme. Well, it's impossible to be sure. I was being conservative saying it's extremely difficult to be sure. It's actually impossible to be sure. And we'll never know conclusive number. But according to the Johns Hopkins things, we've got Australia on just over 27,000 cases. So how many confirmed deaths do we have? Just coming up on 900. Coming up on 900 confirmed deaths in Australia. So what is that? Australia versus the US. So the US is, what, 10, 15 times the population of Australia, and 30,000. What's 3 million to 30,000? It's 10, 100. So yes, okay. The US is 10 to 15 times the population of Australia and has 200 times more confirmed cases, and Jesus, 2,000 times the deaths. Is that right? We're just coming, no, 200. Yeah, so the numbers in the US are 200 times worse than Australia, and the population difference is only 10 or 15 times. So yikes. Yes, Justin, most of them are in Victoria. Carl, is the virus mutating? Viruses do mutate. Although there was a lot of conjecture about there were different and much stronger variants of the virus, I believe that has been largely discredited. So the concept of the virus mutating doesn't necessarily mean it's changing significantly or worsening or it's complicating vaccine tests. It can mean that. It absolutely can mean that. But no, I haven't seen any of the health bodies saying that that's a significant problem yet. It could certainly turn into one. Yeah, so I think it's like there's mutating and there's mutating, and we're just mutating. Little m mutating rather than capital M mutating. So that's where we find ourselves at the moment. So suppose I should, even though I haven't heard from him, just in case he's looking, send Aidsy the link just so he can join if he wants to. Yes. Yep, another mysterious kitchen invader. Sorry. Oh, and I should text him, get his attention. The shit on my phone. All right. All right, where are we? Massages. So email the live stream link. What the fuck? Okay. Just so he knows. Carl, does the weather impact the virus? Excellent question. And I think the answer is we don't know yet. Globally, winter is usually worse for influenza than summer. And so I think there's a general expectation. Oh, he messaged me straight back. So that kind of suggests he's going to join us. Cool. Yeah. So, yeah, I think there's some concern about the European and American, North American winter coming up, but who knows? Bobo used to call your stepmother a mutant. She had 11 toes. Yes, that is technically a mutation. So that's fair. Oh, God, Justin, yes, I did see the tweet Telstra put out about Trump, which was a bold fucking move. For those who missed it, after there was the official tweet saying Trump had contracted the novel coronavirus, the official Telstra account quote tweeted that saying, "Don't you dare blame this on 5G." And I was like, ooh, bold move. Not sure if you still have a job after that. Oh my God, Charlie, you stayed up to about 3:30 chattering on. AZ is a chatterbox, and it is because he's largely alone and craves the human interaction. I think he hugely appreciates the live interactions. So, yeah. So, yeah. There's no way I could have survived till 3:30. Although I wasn't actually, no, I was. Even when I left at about 1:30. I was not like, really wasted, but I was tired all Saturday. I got up at 7:30 and I was tired. Actually had a nana nap in the afternoon. But yeah, I was tired all Saturday. It's that weird thing, like not really wasted, crushed, tired, but a little bit tired. Angry Bunch? I guess we could do Angry Bunch. I might see if Aidsy joined first, have a chat with him, and then open things right up. Why not? To see out the weekend. Yes, Aidsy was going to tell you a story, but you're like, no, it's 3:30, go to sleep. Yes, because if he starts a story, it does not necessarily stop for a very long time. Yes, when you gotta go, you gotta go. It's as simple as that. So completely understand. But he's always got more time to tell another story another day. He certainly has a lot of stories. Do any other glasses, whereas the thing like you just randomly adjust it, and then sometimes when your glasses aren't on, you find yourself just going, I'm not wearing glasses. That's cool. There was the weird video of an old Republican dude in the US, one of their congressional hearings. He wears glasses, and he didn't have his glasses on, but he did this whole thing where he went for the glasses and they weren't there, but he did this whole thing of folding the non-existent glasses up and putting them in his pocket. It was really weird. Abigail, I don't remember what time you left, but you do remember. Thanks for all the cleavage displays. Have your biannual breast self-exam afterwards. Did an extremely thorough job of it. Good. Because that's the thing that has to happen, the breast exams. And the one I have is the poo exam. Every couple of years now, the government sends me a thing saying, please send us a poo sample. And it's this little thing where you got to poo in a machine and you got this little thing you stick in it, and then you stick it in this sample bottle thing. And it's just the tiniest amount. So I just thought, if that tiny amount is good for them, I think I'm just going to fill an ice cream container with shit and post it to them, just with a little note like, "Hey, you all wanted a little bit, and you said that was useful, so I just think you'd be this would help if I just sent you a big box of shit." Carl, what am I angry about? Most things, really. Yes, Abigail, I was trying to be polite and not bring up that you were obviously talking about masturbation, but you've gone there, so there you go. Carl, I haven't been watching the last couple of years. Look, seriously, I haven't done I've done one pre-recorded angry video in the last 6 months. Coronavirus fucking messed with my head. I realized all I could talk about was coronavirus and American politics, and I just thought, this is weird and fucked up and samey. And I started doing these live streams 4, 5, 6 nights a week as a form of therapy for me and other people. And so I'm just kind of happy and chilled out doing these live streams mostly now. Every now and then I think, oh yeah, I can get back into doing the pre-recorded videos, but I don't know, my motivation is just really low, I guess. But I don't know, at some point I'll do it. So, but in the meantime, in these times, I'm just doing these live streams to have a bit of human interaction, interacting with humans. And yes, like I say, it's therapy for me and therapy for other people to just have a bit of interaction. And because even people who aren't locked down are probably not socializing nearly as much as they did in the before times. So little bit of interaction this way does not go astray. I think, what time is it in Perth at the moment? Hello, clock. What time is it in Perth? World clock. What have I got to look up? Perth. Perth, Australia. It's only 5:45 p.m. in Perth. Jesus. Okay. Big old country we live in. Carl, who's the other bloke joining? Aidsy, aka Adrian Collier, my longtime collaborator on the channel, is all shut up on his lonesome in his flat. And so, yes, speaking of it being therapy for people, it gives Aidsy an outlet to talk to peoples, because is more than a tad limited in his interactions, because among other reasons, his chronic health problems. He's particularly susceptible to infections like the coronavirus. Has in fact been in hospital twice since lockdown and isolation type things started happening 6 months ago. Both unrelated to coronavirus. Related to other of his chronic illnesses. Lucky him. Lucky him. So he's had a couple of hospital stays in the last 6 months. He's at home at the moment. Has been home for a couple of weeks since his last hospital stay. And he is soldiering bravely on, as the saying goes. So we are apparently going to be seeing him. We'll see how long that actually takes for him to appear. Just playing with my shirt. Because I might even, if I got AZ, or open things up, Angry Bunch style, have other people take the helm, because you can tell, or actually regulars will know from me being dressed like this, I do actually want to make a cocktail video, a pre-recorded video for my cocktail channel, and let other people chat for a while, because if I keep this on, it's a bit weird and there's all long silences between my takes of the video. Although I do that sometimes too. Just let people see behind the scenes what I'm actually doing before a video is edited. So that's the thing. I have to do a video for a cocktail called a Mexican Sunrise. Huh. Shannon, hey, how are you going? Which reminds me, I should bring it up for my little cheat notes about its history. Oh, God. I took a note. I've got to remember where to look it up. I could have bookmarked it, I guess, but I didn't. But I did make a note. Now there's a complaining cat somewhere I can hear. That's it. Libby's flashback. Libby's flashback challenge. It's a company called Libby that's apparently a glassware manufacturer, and they ran a promotional thing to get some bartenders to say, hey, make a drink using one of our special pieces of glassware, and we want it to be you recreating one of the first cocktails you ever made, but give it a twist, make it your own or whatnot. And the one I'm making is a take on Tequila Sunrise. That the maker is called a Mexican Sunset. Sounds like he's Icelandic. Oiska Bergman Petersen. I actually looked up how to pronounce his name because it's A with an accent over it, Sgeir. And I looked it up, and there's a guy, that was his name. He says, here's how you pronounce my name. It's Oiska, which makes me think it's a version of the name Oscar. But even having looked it up and listened to it, I would bet I'm pronouncing it wrong. Upset outlandish Icelandic people. Hey, readers. Yeah, we mentioned the Telstra Twitter earlier. It's like, Rrr. Carl, what do I do for a job? I work in IT. I'm a contractor, a business analyst, in fact. So yes, I have a day job, which is why I don't stress about YouTube very much, because YouTube's never going to pay you what my day job does. So I just have fun on YouTube and don't stress about things and move on. Shannon probably will do an Angry Bunch at some point. Maybe the second hour if I don't hear from Aidsy. I was going to give Aidsy a chance to pop up and say hello on his own. But there's no sign of him yet. But Aidsy being Aidsy, he could appear at any moment, or maybe not at all. That's a thing. So Charlie, you got to think of what fashion parade to do tonight. Yes, well, I made my fashion choice is a cat in the hat tie from my tie collection. So I'm going with that. Shannon, I probably earned a couple $1,000 from YouTube back in the day. And then they changed so much of it. And I was very bad at adapting to the changes. And I'm very bad at self-promotion. And so I actually demonetized my channel long time ago because I didn't want to deal with the shit they were doing with censorship. Because you'll notice not all, but almost any high-profile YouTube channel will censor swearing. And for those who remember me, I swear a lot. So I couldn't be fucked dealing with the censorship. And so I think, you know what? I don't want the stress. I'm just going to demonetize my channel and just do stuff for fun. Because, yeah, it wasn't worth it. It just absolutely was. I still occasionally get things. I'll get an email from YouTube about a video that's 8, 10, 12 years old. Like, it's being reviewed and got an adults only rating placed on it. And it's like, yeah, because society was collapsing because of what was on that 10-year-old video, you fucking munters. Whenever that happens, I'm going, oh, it's one of these right-wing fuckwits who acts in bad faith and carries on about, oh, the left and cancel culture is toxic and blah, blah, blah. And in their bad faith, they're just always looking for opportunities to disrupt or shut down political voices they disagree with because they're liars and hypocrites. Shannon, wasn't always about fun. Oh, I tried to make a red hot go of it a couple of times back in the early days, like 10 years ago, more than 10 years ago. But one thing and another is a combination of, because I did try a couple of times, and I think it was a combination of my timing was really bad, and I had some appalling bad luck more than once. More than once, I had some real fucking bad luck. And if the bad luck thing hadn't happened, circumstances probably would have been very different for me. But there's a combination of, like I said, me not being particularly good at the self-promotion and marketing, and also not doing the right things. I was not doing the right things for someone who, wanted to make it big on YouTube. And Charlie, would it be weird if you wore a schoolgirl style dress? Oh, look, when have we let weird stop us? Yes, I don't think like weird has ever got in our way before. You should go with what feels right to you is my views essentially. But yes, I get why you're asking the question actually, but I'm gonna have to leave the ball in your court. But and like I said, I'll just say I think weird is what we do. So I'm not bothered by weird. So yeah. I suppose there's schoolgirl outfits and there's schoolgirl outfits. So I'm going to leave that to your judgment. Okay, Abigail agrees it's not weird. Shannon, me in a schoolgirl outfit, yeah. I have like worn my kilt before, obviously. But which again, it's not schoolgirl, but it's a skirt. It's a nice skirt. When it gets hot, I'll probably start wearing it again. Who knows? Who knows? I think I'm going to jump back on I am going to jump back on the light and easy train this week because I'll let myself go and I'm a huge fat fuck. So I'm going to work on that a bit over any serious inroads is going to take 6 months, I suppose. So be working on that over the next. Oh, Shannon, you got married in a kilt. That fucking rocks. That is excellent. That is an excellent choice. I have seen some very fine wedding kilts, actually, where both the groom and the groomsmen were with kilts and sporrans and daggers. I'm 100% on board with a wedding kilt. Speaking of kilts and wearing them stylishly, it's Aidsy. Hey, buddy.
Hello.
How you doing?
Hello, everyone. Hello. I had some house things to deal with, and I'm going to have some house things to deal with a little bit later too, but
that's okay.
Worry about that because I'm here now.
Come in the meantime, and once you settle in a bit, we'll probably do an Angry Bunch style thing again to let
Loving that.
go on.
Who can't love
Just
that?
Take the pressure off you and me, yeah. So yeah. So I've heard you stayed up till about 3:30 on Saturday morning with storytelling.
I did indeed. I was doing my bit.
Good. Bit of interacting.
I was doing my bit for the
raconteuring.
for the stream, for the
Yep.
for the channel, for the peeps,
For the peeps.
for the angry cause.
Yeah, that's what we like to hear. That sort of dedication. That's what it's all about.
That's right. I don't knit my brow to show concern. I knit my brow to show dedication.
Oh, Shannon, if you post a link, Shannon, we just got onto kilts, and Shannon actually got married in a kilt. So if you post a link to like me as a message on Facebook, then I can actually share the pictures if that's what you're up for. That's probably the easiest way to do it, because the stream doesn't let other people post links. I think it's an anti-spam thing. But yeah, if that is a thing you want, if you send me the link or the pictures via Facebook message, I can share them. So yeah. Because you had kilts back when you had to keep the undercarriage aired out because of the grass.
I had a year without pants. My then wife made me a couple of kilts to wear, which was lovely of her. They were of an unusual design, which made it awkward to run around public in, but they were kilts nonetheless. Looking back on it, what I should have done is just go on the straight out McGregor tartan and worn that. That would have made life a lot less of a hassle. I couldn't wear any underclothes whatsoever. I couldn't wear pants whatsoever, and so I had to go around full Highlander commando. Interesting in the wind, I can tell you that much. I got some looks. Yes, I did.
Yeah, blowing in the breeze. What's worn under the kilt? Nothing. It's all in perfect working order. There was I wanted to channel that. I think Willie in The Simpsons, when he's giving a talk about kilts, and Bart attaches helium balloons to his kilt, which raises it up, and you just get the rear view of Willie's incredibly muscled butt, and the crowd screams, and he goes, "What's wrong with you? It's not but what the Lord gave me." It's just... And then when Skinner grabs Bart, because he knew Bart wouldn't be able to resist the prank, and he goes, "There is no such thing as World Kilt Day, Bart. It was a ploy to trap you." And then Willie just screams, "You lied to me, Skinner. You used me. I'll not forgive that." Back when The Simpsons was actually funny. But yeah, anyway. But have you watched like any Simpsons episode from the last 10 years?
No.
I think the dead giveaway is there is no meme that you see online that's from a Simpsons episode past about season 12.
Right.
And they're up to season 30. And of all the ones that everyone instantly recognizes, so you can use them as memes, they all come from like pre-season 12. Yeah. And I think that's it. Okay, Shannon sent me some kilt links. All right. Abigail, your son gets home tomorrow, so tonight's the last night you're able to bear some cleavage. Okay. Oh, this is a cool photo. Let me... Yes. Try and share this with everyone. Where are we? No. What am I doing? God damn it, web browser. Okay, so I'm going to share Shannon's wedding theatre. Share the screen. Chrome tab. Is it that one? What's that? No, it's not that. Go away.
Full moon.
Oh, well, that was not a bad joke, actually. It's Monster Housemates, the vampire and mummy hold down the other housemate and say full moon, which turns him into a werewolf. It's not a bad joke. Right.
Very funny, guys. Very funny.
Very funny. All right.
Uh-huh.
So, okay, but now the actual wedding photo. So, there. That's Shannon's bridal party.
There you go.
How cool is that? That
some fine young men in some kilts
and swords.
I can see a bridegroom there in a full sashed kilt.
And
it's
very
bridesmaids look good. The bridesmaids could even use those dresses again.
Yes, they are very simple little black dresses. That's a very kind choice for the bridesmaids, really.
Because, often the brides will, make the bridesmaids buy these apricot things that,
no one's ever wearing again.
They get cut up for dusters next day.
Yeah. So that's a very stylish wedding photo, and I thank you for sharing that with us. Charlie's Clan McKellar. Emo Duckman, you are the second person to tell me that. In the most recent PewDiePie video, he was going through a subreddit called something about bad comments or whatever, and you're seeing what are the popular things, cringe comments or whatever, and one was that the bloody gay lion tweet of mine from a couple years ago. There's a grab of a news story that says Kenyan official says gay lions must have copied it watching gay tourists. And I just responded, well, personally, hats off to the gay tourists willing to fuck in front of lions. So, and that was the tweet heard around the world. That got shared literally millions of times. Huge celebrity accounts shared it. And it actually made Twitter unusable for me for a couple of days because the number of notifications were just overloading my phone, and I couldn't, because I was just getting over the course of a week, I got millions of notifications. So that was interesting to me because it opened the door to people who are actually popular Twitter accounts that get thousands of interactions for every single tweet. I was going, how the fuck do these people use Twitter? Because they reply. You see, they reply to people sometimes. I'm like, the fuck do you thread through all this shit to be able to respond to anyone? But that's the thing. Abigail's Clan Shaw. I think I've been told a couple of different things, but I have been told by someone who looked into it, I'm Clan Mackenzie. But I wouldn't swear to that on a stack of sporrans, but because my family name is Scottish, comes from the far north, the Orkney Isles even. Definitely of Scots heritage, but there's no clan with my surname. I've been told I'm Clan Mackenzie. Raiders, I did see what happened with the Proud Boys hashtag. Gay activists decided to, for those who don't know, Proud Boys are a bunch of fuckwitted fascist neo-Nazis in the US who are obnoxious, horrible, violent thugs. And they love Trump, of course. So in the last day or so, gay activists started using hashtag Proud Boys and posting all their loving pictures of hugs and kisses and weddings and whatnot. So the dominant thing you now find on Twitter for hashtag Proud Boys is gay pride posts, which is lovely and possibly infuriating to the neo-Nazi Proud Boys. But yes,
I imagine they wouldn't be too cool with it.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Okay, I just noticed that Shannon's saying yes, it was a specific choice, so the dresses could be reused, and also the kilts. Yeah, absolutely. Those are reusable kilts. Yeah, but yes, the Proud Boys are horrible race, and they're the classic sort of new wave racists where they carefully put a couple people up front, like, look, this guy in our association is Asian, this guy is black, this guy is gay. We're not bigots. And I don't know what degree of self-loathing is required for someone to stand up for a literal fascist group who definitely wants them dead, but will shamelessly use them as a prop. I don't know how fucked in the head you have to be to do that. But the Proud Boys are quite notable for putting non-white members in very visible positions. And it's like, dude, their core ethos is fascism. They would kill you if they had the chance. I don't know what degree of insecurity or self-loathing is required to associate with people who regard you as less than human and want you dead. But there you go.
Yeah, but at the same time, I met so many gay Catholics, and I just I go, why? And well, I really like it and I really believe, and I go, well, that's okay. They will try and kill you if they get a chance at it. They don't want you. When I was in the university, my first dorm head said, look, if you go to a club and the bouncer doesn't let you in, don't try and get in, because you don't want to be in a club where they don't want you anyway.
Yeah.
So don't try and push your way into a club where the bouncer says no. Go somewhere else where they say yes, because that's the club you want to be at. Yeah.
There's a funny webcomic, trying to remember what it's called, but its tagline in every comic is just this blobby shape character going, oh no. Let me have a look. It's what's it called? It's just called webcomic name. That's right. So he was in a bit of a mood when he invented that. He's been doing it for ages, years and years, maybe a decade. So it's webcomic name, and it does this thing where they're always hashtag relatable, and they're usually 3 frames, and the last one is always someone saying, "Oh no!" So this one I'm showing, like, there's a person seeing another person going, "They're perfect," and look at each other, and then the person's face says, "I am flawed," and so the original person says, "Oh no." And this one, "I have so much money. I have more money than you could possibly imagine. I also want you to like me." Oh no. So the kids these days, I'm born. 1 minute later, I'm not yet rich and famous and successful. I have failed at my life. Parents says, "Oh no." That's a millennial starting to feel their age. That webcomic there is a millennial who doesn't understand Zoomers. This isn't one for Australia. The sun is good. It gets bigger and bigger and everything's on fire. Oh no. So I'm a bit of a fan of the webcomic name, oh no. But he did one that was, we're talking about, as Shannon says, I'm not racist, I have a coloured friend, or we're not bigoted. Look, this alt-right person's gay. The one about, having your own space is like a big crowd. They're all one colour blobby people. And then there's 3 blobby people who are a different colour, and the dominant crowd say to the different ones, "You do not fit in here." And so then the different ones go and they're in their own little square and they go, we have formed our own space. And then the other crowd go, why are you excluding us? And then the last frame is all the mass forcing themselves into this little space, and the different ones are pushed off into the corner, and the crowd say to them again, you do not fit in here. And they go, oh no.
Oh, no.
That is very hashtag relatable. Yeah, Shannon, that's why they loved Milo Yip Yap so much. It was, again, it's using them as a shield. And of course, Milo Yiannopoulos is so full of self-loathing. He's such a, he just wants, all he wants is attention. And you know that
Yiannopoulos?
Oh, he's a British writer, flamboyant gay who joined the American alt-right, and he's like an extreme alt-righter. And it's like, dude, that core ideology there wants you dead, but you're so full of self-loathing that you just want attention. So Helly and hello to Kirsten, by the way. But yeah, but he it's the classic. You say some people, clearly didn't get the right attention when they're young, and so now they indulge in extreme behavior just to get any attention because they can't tell the difference between bad attention and good attention. Milo Yiannopoulos is the textbook case of that. I'm a screaming homosexual. I will now hang out with people who actively want me dead, but will put me front and center so they can say, see, we're not that bad. Even though he knows for a fact behind his back, they are all talking about how much they want him dead. But yes. And yes. As yes. Shannon pointed out, what another bit of Yiannopoulos' fucking hypocrisy. He went and saying when there was the campaign for gay marriage to be legalized in the US, he came out against it and said, like, no, gays shouldn't be allowed to get married. Then it's legalized and he got married. And it's just like, nothing you say means anything, you pathetic loser. So yeah, it's just like that. He's just right. That. He is that type.
I remember getting really quite annoyed at the group OU gays here in Australia who put the High Court challenge out against the plebiscite.
Yes.
For gay marriage in Australia, and the point was effectively, this is a right, not a privilege for other people to decide upon.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to take it there, you could go, okay, yeah, no, that's a fair enough call. But if you stop this, you're not going to get another shot for another 20 years. And if it had worked, if the High Court had shut it down, there wouldn't have been any change on it for another 20 years.
Yeah.
And it was only because that plebiscite got through that there was enough momentum to push that through Parliament and then leave it. And it was a stupid thing to do, and I was just disappointed in my team for doing a stupid thing.
Lots of stupid things happened.
Yeah, and it's like, why would you do that? Were you trying to get attention? And of course, then there was also that piece I saw on Liberal Party poofs complaining that they were being bullied for towing the party line against gay marriage, and it was quite harsh, the bullying they were getting from pro gay marriage supporters.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, well, did you get burned?
Yeah. Someone tie you to the stake.
Did you get ostracized from your family? Did you get?
Did you lose your job?
Did you get kicked out of your house?
Yeah.
Did you get stopped from getting medical attention? Did any of that happen? Because that could be considered a bit harsh.
Could be.
And has all happened from the right wing that you're representing.
Yes.
Yes.
Very much so. So what say you to a bit of angry bunch action?
Loving it.
Few people.
Loving it to death.
Oh, wait a sec. Where's the bloody link? I've got to copy the link. That would be the first step, you idiot.
He's copying the link. He's copying the link. He's copying the link, and then he's spreading it around. Spreading it around. And people can jump on and say stuff off of the telly or the pewty, and then they just say stuff on the pewter, and then Angry goes, "You can say stuff." And you can say stuff.
All right. I love Bobo put something in the chat saying a little off topic. Look, nothing's off topic. We always go off topic. But he said, I'm curious, has anyone thought to check AIDS's DNA for a COVID cure? I mean, you are still alive and there must be something in your blood. And Grasshopper, hello.
Hello, gentlemen. How are we?
Good. You said you weren't going to say anything about the COVID cure stuff.
I think AIDS's worried now that Bobo's brought up the idea of harvesting AIDS for medical science. I think you've always been worried about them doing that.
Well, Grasshopper said he was going to keep it a secret between us, and you said you were going to go straight to CSIRO with the vial and all of our ideas. And
AIDS, all I can say is that I got offered too much money to say no to it, mate. What can I say? I'm sorry.
Your mates? Did you remember your mates?
Of course I remembered my mates. Angry and I went halves.
Yeah. So exactly according to plan.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm still saying stuff. I'm just not letting you look at me.
The mind boggles.
See, you can see my my wobble going.
Your placeholder.
Yeah, there you go. So it's as soon as I go back, it does stuff, but I can't do too loud. Oh, I can go close. If I go really close, it wobbles up and down. Wobble.
Gets a bit in.
Wobble at all. It's not even. It's got to be about consonants. Consonants. It's sibilance.
Sorry, just to go back to that plebiscite for a minute. Like that whole thing was an infuriating shit show from beginning to end. Yeah. Because the evidence clearly showed that it had enough support in Parliament just to put it to a vote, and it would have passed, and it would have been done, and it would have been finished, and everything was good. But Abbott needed to appeal to the religious aspect of his bloody ridiculous party, but also didn't want to go against the greatest majority of the Australian populace and say no to same-sex marriage completely. So this stupid bloody plebiscite came up, and like both campaigns did their own job kind of well, but there were many parts that the No campaign had that were just plain out offensive. And there were many parts of the Yes campaign that stepped over too many boundaries and didn't give appropriate attention to, say, trans queer folk or coloured queer folk or something along those lines as well. So, you know, there were parts in the whole thing that I was just kind of sitting there the entire time just kind of screaming at the TV or at the computer or whatever it was whenever we were talking about it. Love the face mark.
That is more than 2 letters at once, then you don't get to play. I'm sorry. That's just it.
Oh, so, is this the
all that stuff about trans, queer.
Love the bunny ears, darling. Oh, you've got like a kilt tartan style dress on there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It is nice. Besides, I'm still angry at you.
My schoolgirl dress.
Oh, it's a schoolgirl dress. Okay.
I love. AZ forgot he was angry at us and had turned off his microphone.
No, microphone's still on.
Yeah, no.
I can still comment at you.
Are you getting forgetful in your old age, AZ?
I'm not getting forgetful. I'm not still angry. Oh, wait, wait. All my things went away. No, my dashboard's back.
Oh my God!
So don't you worry. I know where my dashboard is.
Good man. Good man. So, what have you been up to today, Charlie?
Today? Oh, yeah. I took Ludo over here took him to the dog beach.
Oh, he looks tired out.
Yeah. He's had a good day. He's all tuckered out.
Playing with other dogs.
Got to go to the dog beach and have a romp with the other doggies, and then we got home and he got to have a splash in his little clamshell pool.
Oh, big spoil day.
Charlie, I haven't shown you my puppy yet, have I?
No.
Would you like to see my puppy very quick?
Yes.
Of course.
Jack, come on.
Oh, he's in the room with you.
Come on. Hello, my boy.
Oh, wow.
Hello, my boy.
What a little ball of joy.
Oh, there's 2 puppies.
There is. This is Jack. He's a rescue.
Aww.
He is 9 years old, and he is a fox terrier.
Wow.
And he was the runt of the litter when we got him, but now he's absolutely gigantic, and he loves to lick faces. Don't you, my boy?
Oh, he's so cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're my boy. Okay, down. And this one. Come here. Come on. No, you got to move over here so I can pick you up.
Kirsten did the tourist thing going to the opera house. Okay, you got to do that occasionally. Just don't tell people you're from Victoria, or that you came from Victoria. You're not from Victoria, but you came from Victoria, because then
this is Max.
Oh,
there's the fluffy one.
He's like mashed potatoes.
He is our little potato. He's about as smart as a potato, but he's very, very charming.
But potatoes are very nutritious.
And you're full of farmers' friends. I'm going to have to brush you again now, Max. Yes, I'm going to have to brush you again. Right. And he is another rescue.
Nice.
Hey, Abby.
Hi.
Hey, and she's gone for the doctor's outfit tonight.
Dr. Abigail, nice.
Abby, we can't hear you, darling.
Not working, Abigail.
Pull your microphone down.
No,
your
microphone
is up.
It isn't that.
Oh, I knew that. I was just testing you.
Yeah.
All right, Max, down you go.
It's on mute.
Good boy.
There you go.
Good
That is the cry of the wild for 2020. I was on mute.
So this lab coat has seen laboratory use.
Nice.
My first degree was, I majored in chemistry. I did a science degree.
Oh, cool.
But
so that's an actual lab coat.
It's an actual lab coat, but I wore it in my late teens, early 20s, and it doesn't quite fit anymore, so I couldn't button it up. I hope no one minds.
No.
So is that, Abby, is that an actual tattoo, or is it just a drawing?
That is a tattoo.
A friend of mine just got the exact same tattoo, but I think on her other breast.
That's where it goes, though.
That's where it goes, yeah.
Yeah, no, she most likely got it there. Then she's a full-on Trekkie. I love her to tears.
Oh, okay.
It's,
my dad used to wear lab coats. My granddad was a medical photographer, and so he had lab coats. And so my dad
would gonna refill my drink.
Would wear like his lab coats while riding his motorbike.
Nice.
That's a good look. That sounds good.
Charlie, you're looking absolutely fantastic. I love that dress.
Thank you.
And I wish I had the figure to pull something like that.
I'll have to get up and do the. Let's see. I have to push it back.
Oh, it's got the pleats and everything. Nice.
Yeah, it's like.
Oh wow!
Very
I have
nice.
something very similar, actually. It doesn't
With
quite
the white
fit anymore.
I put the white thigh-high socks on to
Socks as well.
make
Nice.
keep it perverted but clean.
I know what I'm doing tonight.
What's What are they? The cosplayers when they're posing for photos, they're lewd, not rude. It's that's the. Oh, I just noticed Kirsten saying going to the opera house. There were too many people. It felt overwhelming. It would, after going from isolation to a tourist destination, would be really overwhelming.
They're not in lockdown, are they?
No, they are not. They should a bit, but they are not. But hopefully, in another couple of weeks, we have freedom of movement as well, because it's a bit of a drag. I mean, obviously for the right reason, because you see the numbers going the way we want them to go and whatnot.
Yeah.
But doesn't stop it from being a bit of a drag and very stressful on people with jobs and businesses and whatnot. But it was like, I still can't wrap my head around people who don't understand, what would happen to your job, business, and economy if this ripped through the population and the hospitals were overwhelmed and people were dying in the street. Oh my God, he's such a big sook. That is so. It's like, I've had a big day.
He's had a big day. He's all tuckered out.
He must, because at the other times when he's so exuberant. But yes, he's definitely had a big day. What has your day been, Abigail?
My day? Oh, well, let's see. Will hasn't been home. I had a shocking migraine last night.
Ooh, that sucks.
And I had to take like a double dose of my migraine meds. I was puking. It was awful. So I went to bed early, woke up this morning. Migraine was gone, thank goodness. And I don't know. I've just been kicking back, just playing games and doing chores.
No, that sounds good. Yeah,
not much. Just a really lazy Sunday.
Sounds like a good Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's my last day of quiet and freedom.
Oh yes, because your son comes back. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. And yeah, he talks a lot. He's he's a bit of a talker.
Yeah. Oh, I just noticed Kirsten's other revelation of going around. Got very sore legs from 4 hours of walking around after 6 months of not doing much.
Kirsten, did you see the guy, the happy Asian guy who has a sign saying "smile" on it? Because he's apparently a feature in Sydney.
It's the guy who got arrested twice for having a thing calling Tony Abbott a cunt.
It could be the same guy, yeah.
Outside a train station.
He was when I saw him. He was at Circular Quay.
Well, it might be the same person. Yes. Okay. We're all crossing. We have to cross our fingers for Kirsten to get the apartment they want, so they're not homeless.
Yeah.
We don't want you to be homeless, Kirsten.
Hello, people.
Hey, welcome back.
Thank you. I am out of iced tea, which is an absolute worry. So I'm going to have to subsist on cordial and water.
But damn, I got my fresh
Bloody Mary,
fresh squeezed orange. Because I'm gonna make a drink that or I've got to make a video for a drink that I've been making. I'll wait for AZ to get back to make sure he's on board, though.
I'm looking at you. Believe me. I'm seeing what you're doing. Don't imagine you're not observed, people.
Not observed.
Just to do the really creepy thing. We're watching you.
Yeah. And he means it in the creepiest way possible, definitely.
Who, me or AZ?
Creepiest way possible.
Creepiest way possible.
All to do with the facial expression.
Yes, he specializes in making people uncomfortable. But that's an Aspie thing. We talked about that before. Crowds freak him out a bit. So if he's around a lot of people, he'll do stuff to make other people uncomfortable. It's just like, you you just existing is really uncomfortable for me. So now I have to do something so you feel uncomfortable, and then it's fair. And it's and it usually involves looking at people like that. Yeah.
So just an interesting little tidbit there. We call this the angry bunch.
Yeah.
Where everybody starts coming in. As everybody knows, my name is Shannon. For my birthday, most years, this year not being in it because fucking pandemic, I have a LAN party for my birthday over the long weekend.
Yeah.
And 30 odd people rucked up in my. I've got a big garage connected to the house.
Yeah.
And it's the best time. It is the best time, and we sit down for the entire long weekend and play games until unhealthy hours of the night, eating unhealthy foods, and a lot of swearing. It's just a great time. It has been nicknamed the Shanlan.
Participants, Shanlanders.
Shanlanders, yes.
The funny part about that is quite a few of the people who come to the land have Tinder on their phones. Now, my wife and I got married well and truly before Tinder was ever a thing, and we don't have Tinder on either of our phones. But because the amount of people that have spent time here on my Wi-Fi with Tinder on their phones, Shanland Central is a Tinder meetup point.
Yikes. Okay.
I mean, we live so far out in the back of the booties that I can't imagine anybody actually using it, but it is just absolutely hilarious that it's there.
I love it. So this year, are you doing it online then?
No, we just didn't do it this year. No, it's all about the personal interaction of the land. Like, we'll get in and we'll play a couple of games, but then we'll take about an hour afterwards and we'll just stand around and have a smoke outside, just going, you shot me in the face when I was trying to shoot at them in the back, and you did this, and it's just actually have a good time. And like, not all 30 people are in the same game. Some people will be playing other games, and some people have got their consoles over, and sometimes we sit around, play some cards, or crank up the barbecue, stuff like that.
Play Magic the Gathering?
So there are 5 people that come to my lands that do play Magic, but they don't bring the cards to the lands. They've got their own group of people that they do Magic with. One of them, he's got like this massive room set up for his D&D and Magic nights, and that's basically my
lounge
insane.
room. Like, half of my lounge room is an art space, the other half is D&D and Magic. And I've had to like move my entire collection like into the bedroom, and it's just I've got so many freaking expensive pieces of cardboard. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, I never could get into Magic or Warhammer or any of those things, mainly because the expense that's involved in them.
Fair enough.
It's like, don't get me wrong, I of course don't judge those who go for it. Like, your money, your life, your choice, go nuts. But for me personally, I just couldn't do it.
Yeah, I started off cheap and built up the collection just really gradually.
Yeah.
Kirsten's joining too. There we go.
Hey, Kirsten. Hello. How you doing?
Hi.
Hey,
hello.
How goes the quarantine, darling?
It's done. We're done.
Oh.
She's free.
Yeah, I was about to say, because that doesn't look like a hotel.
Freedom.
Well, it's a really big Airbnb. So,
you're in an
as
Airbnb?
I was mentioning, we needed somewhere temporary that we could just move into and then apartment hunt. So that's what we did this weekend. We've got 3 potentials. Got 3 potentials.
Well, I've got my fingers
one I like,
and I can't even do it manually, so I've got to do it.
You got to physically do that, yeah.
Because my fingers won't actually do it because I'm brain damaged.
Well,
and I was going to say, Grasshopper, you're just the lucky because you get to have birthdays. All my big birthdays have been shat on since I was 30. 30 was the last big birthday I ever had. And you know how you have big birthdays on the 0 and the 5, right? Every single fucking one has been fucking blown up. When I was 40, I was in hospital. And that sucked ass. So I went, all right, okay, no, it's okay. Gonna have a huge 50th. 50th is gonna be massive. It's gonna be fucking huge. And then they pandemicked it. Fucking the world conspired
they
to fuck up my birthday. And I blame all of you.
All of us. How can you say that when we've got 3 beautiful ladies with us, AZ, and you're going to say that it's all their fault? How can you possibly say that?
Yeah, look,
that's just because you like boys and not girls, you bloody fascist.
No, I like girls.
No, he likes girls too. Yeah, I'm just mixing it up now. There you go.
Hey, there we go.
Just like people.
Way. Well, in an ordinary sized way, but in a big way.
In a big way. Within normal dimensions.
Within, nothing stupid. Nothing crazy. Nothing like, I'm going to have to fucking organise this over 4 weekends. No, none of that. No, it's just, hey, I've got one of these. It needs batteries. And, it's good.
No, that doesn't look good.
Still blame you all, though.
Doing ear.
Okay. With your head, with your ears.
Yeah.
You can't
it's like
I just recently realized that I can bend them.
I'm just sitting here just watching Bunny like rearrange her ears and just wondering how's she going to go for this? Like it's
I don't know.
It's more intriguing than it should be.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Everything's a revelation.
I'm just working on my crochet.
It does look cool, by the way, though,
I'm
Queen.
an old lady.
I love the color in your hair. That looks fantastic.
Oh, it's really faded. It needs to be redone.
Okay.
But I can't be bothered. And also because
it's still pretty bright.
And white towels. Pink dye and white towels do not mix. And I have to wait for my hair dye towel, which is in my car, which is getting shipped.
Oh, no. Speaking of,
and
though,
I start
Abby,
work
I love the rainbow
Tuesday.
hair, by the way.
Oh, thanks. I've got green at the front and purple at the back, but you can't really see it in this light. But against the lab coat, you can see the purple.
It works.
Yeah.
So how long until you get your car, Queen?
So they said Thursday or Friday next week. And I start work on Tuesday. So I'm currently thinking maybe I should just go to Target and buy myself a $5 towel just to
that
redye
doesn't
my
matter
hair.
if it gets destroyed. Yeah.
That's probably a pretty good idea.
Anyway.
Yeah, I'm going to excuse myself for a second.
I just have to emotionally prepare myself to wash my hair and then see what it turns out like. It's the emotional preparation for washing my hair because washing my hair takes a solid 25 minutes. And you have to have the energy for that.
At least
you do.
Yeah.
I had long hair for quite a few years, down to about my shoulder blades. I remember when I first went back to short hair, just the ease of washing and conditioning my hair, as opposed to having to do it every day, doing it every 3 days. And as opposed to it taking 25, 30 minutes, taking 10 minutes. And I couldn't go back to long hair now. I just couldn't do it. If I were a woman,
we traveled for about a year. And because we were backpacking and I had long hair, I sort of trained my hair to not require washing very often. So I can stretch to about 14 to 17 days. And everyone's like, what? That's ridiculous. And I don't use a lot of dry shampoo. Very rarely use some sort of medium. But my hair doesn't get too greasy or anything. It is over-processed and very dead.
If you care for your safety, if you ever meet my wife, don't ever tell her that because she may just murder you out of pure jealousy and spite.
Yeah.
I had to go through a really ugly phase. It was a long stretch But also, have you ever tried washing your hair in hostel bathrooms when you either have to hold down the thing or, you know,
well, first of all, I've been going through my ugly phase for the last 41 years. Second of all, thankfully, no.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really challenging. So I had to work towards it. So yeah. Anyway.
I've had to do that. Wash yourself in the disabled dunny at the train station because you're homeless, and having to put your foot on the actual go pedal for the water so that you can then get it on you. And then one time I was doing that, and then I slipped and went slam, and it made these like just thunderous noises. I've just gone slam, and these two coppers with their key open the door and come in, and I'm just like going, oh, ow, and they're like coming in, and they're both like looking over me, and all I'm seeing is two coppers' heads looking over me, going, so let me guess, foot on the sink, trying to wash yourself, slipped over. And I'm going, you've nailed it. And they're going, you'd be surprised how many times this happens. Have you cut or injured yourself in any way? And I'm going, no, just my pride. I get this shower, and I've gone, shower, finished in like 5 minutes, and was hoping to do that on my own. But, you know,
one thing that you've just reminded me of, though, can we all just take a moment to acknowledge how fucked up it is businesses putting those fucking ripple strips around their places so that homeless people can't fucking sleep there?
Oh, yeah, hostile architecture is
hostile architecture. Yeah.
Well,
it's awful.
You know, it's not happening a lot in Melbourne. It is happening, but it's not happening a lot in Melbourne. And generally speaking, you tend to find out my way. This is the experience I'm having. Out my way, you'll get doors that come in like they cove in from the street,
right?
And the shopkeepers will wake up the homeless and go, "Morning, Jerry. Time to get going, buddy. Got to open up." And they'll pack up and they'll go. And if it's a cafe, they'll often go, "I'll get you a cup of coffee. Says you ready, big fella?" And it's time to get the day underway. And
we need more of that.
One cafe down the road's done that, and the guy that sleeps there says, "Okay, if you don't mind, I'll pop in just quickly." And yeah, fully. And he goes in the back and obviously uses the toilet, comes out. Says, "Okay, so can I get the chairs out?" "Yeah, chairs, but no tables. No tables today because we're still under the COVID." "Yeah, all right, no worries." And so this homeless guy gets all the chairs out and stacks them all neatly. Thanks a lot. And I think he lets him leave his stuff like stashed in there somewhere, because he grabs his cup and a bag and goes, "Thanks, big guy," and then bails, and then smoke.
There was
a nighttime. You see him all rugged up in the corner, like curled up.
There was a antique shop not too far from where I live that used to have a problem with people breaking in there and stealing money and stealing items and whatnot. And it got to the point that they ended up having to hire security, and that was costing him way too much money. And it got to the point that they were ready, willing, and able to cut their losses on not paying for security and just go through insurance every time their place got broken into. And as happenstance would have it, a homeless person decided that where their shop front was a great place to sleep. And what they found was that with this guy sleeping there, nobody was willing to try and break in. So the owner of the store ended up making a deal with this homeless guy of, "Okay, you sleep here during the nights. In the mornings when I come here, I'll bring you something to eat for breakfast and a cup of coffee. And out the back, we've got a shower room and a bathroom and all of that sort of stuff, and you can use it whenever you want," and all of this. And ended up being, the story goes, that the homeless guy ended up moving in living in the antique store somewhat kind of full time, and ended up moving in with the guy and his family and all of this. And it's there's so much more that we could do for the homeless to help them get out of the situations that they're in, rather than making it more difficult for them in the situation that they're already fucking in.
I get distinct impression that this is a similar situation going on at this cafe down the road from me.
We need more of it.
Very.
I'm just going making my video, so I'll be silent for a while.
No worries at all, Angry.
Yeah, and I may have to bail.
So we can all make fun of him.
Because I've got a house thing to do tonight. Yeah, I think I get the distinct impression that there's this kind of thing going on between this homeless guy down the cafe down my street, because when I get up to go and get milk, that's when he opens, and he doesn't kick him. He just says, "Good morning, Jerry," or whatever his name is. It's like, "Oh, morning," and so he jumps straight up and starts packing his gear together. The door's open and he shoots straight out the back. Coffee gets made. The rest of his gear gets packed up. Chairs come out. I get the distinct impression that he's on site.
It probably works for both of them, right? Both the shop owner and
it could definitely be a symbiotic type of relationship, without a doubt.
Oh, I'm sure it works, and I know that the guy that sleeps there he started sleeping there, and he had a styrofoam, box carton styrofoam mattress, and it was all crumpled and that, but it was he'd stuck it together so it'd fold accordion style, and now he's got a memory foam kind of thing that fits very suspiciously neatly into the cove that the door's in, so that I have a suspicion that might have been a joint purchase by them both.
Sorry, just to butt in there for a second. Tristan says there's sparks of humanity in some of the darkest places in the world. The problem that I've got with it just being like a spark of humanity in these darkest places is that it shouldn't be something that's worthy of note. For me, it should just be business as usual. Like, this person helped out a homeless person. Okay, cool. And what else did they do? Like, it shouldn't be an anything thing. And it breaks my heart.
That should be the default.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
Capitalism for you.
No, I agree with that. It's
the thing that makes me feel a bit icky is like people doing charity on camera.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to see that.
Giveaway.
If you want to do it, 100% go ahead. Like, if I've got coins in my pocket, they're going to the guy that I see every day because he's always in the same place and I'm always walking across the bridge at 8:37. So,
from my understanding, true charity is done without wanting to be recognized for the charity work.
Well, if you're going to be a good Christian, that is how you're supposed to do it, right?
Well,
but yeah,
the cultural problem there with in the United States of America, part of the corporate job ladder climb is that you have got to be seen to be supporting one or other foundations and or charities. So you've got to be seen to be charitable to get up that corporate/political ladder.
I mean, it's one thing to say that I'm affiliated with this charity or I donate to this charity, but going out and doing the whole I'm going to give away $10,000 to homeless people today, watch my video, that's not real charity.
Yeah,
what I don't like is the big corporations or the big philanthropists saying, I'm going to match those donations by X amount. If you've got the money, just give it, you know?
Yeah, no, 100%.
Why hold back?
And so many of them do it as they do it as a tax write-off.
Oh yeah. Look, I remember very specifically the Ice Bucket Challenge. We all most likely remember that. Now there was a whole bunch of people out there saying, "Oh, it's not going to make any difference. Like it's not going to help out this. It's not going to help out. It's not going to help out the other."
It did raise awareness.
No, it did a lot more than just raise awareness. With that funding, they actually made a significant breakthrough in understanding the cause of ALS or muscular dystrophy or whatever it is that you want to call it. They made some significant steps forward because of that extra funding and because of the attention. Most people were doing this as a bit of a laugh, as a bit of a bring the community thing together. The one that Bill Gates did was kind of funny. The one that George Bush did, even though I can't stand George Bush in its own right, was still rather funny. And it did do the right thing. That to me is more charitable than this massive YouTuber going, I'm going to go out and give away $10,000 to various homeless people. Watch my video. If that makes sense. Like it's, they're saying, yeah, no, I'm doing this, and I'm going to ask this person and that person and the other person to do it, and if they can't do it, donate instead or whatever. And most people ended up donating and doing it at the same time. It was more lighthearted. It was more fun-filled. It was more, trying to get people to actually watch these silly videos, and it was funny in its own right, but it had a real message behind it as well. That to me is where real charity, where the real human charitable nature, hello kitty, comes in.
And what about bum fighting? That's
right
it's
there. Not
because you're getting money to the guys and entertainment to the masses.
I'll give him a bum fight. I'll bloody punch the guy fucking organizing it for free, like gladly. I'm not a violent person, but I tell you what, I would throw the first swing in that fight. I would absolutely deck that asshole.
I heard about bum fighting, and I thought, oh, yeah, whatever. And then I saw one, and I went, nah, it's not a real thing. Yes, that's not a real thing. It's a real thing.
That can't be...
You're fucking kidding me. And, of course, the kinds of things
Queen,
I've been desperate enough to do for money, I can understand fully.
But people taking advantage of that desperation is not a good thing in any way.
No,
it certainly doesn't count as
and anyone who participates in not the homeless people participating, because obviously homeless people are willing to do desperate things for money, but anyone who organizes that, anyone who records it, like those people, they need to be thrown in jail because they're awful.
Well,
Amen.
In fact, you'll be happy to know that in Australia it is in fact illegal to record, distribute, or profit from a bum fight in any single way or fashion, to cause people to have a non-professional violent fight. I don't know what the way they call it. I mean, it's the bum fight rule, the bum fight law. And it was basically started in New South Wales and then went federal. And basically it was, and all they do is they go to your channel and go, well, you put it up. So who filmed it, who was there, and then you get fined and you go to jail. I think you get fined the first 2 times, and then I think you go to jail the third time.
It should just be go straight to jail.
It should just go straight to jail, but if you're getting fined $20,000, but if slows them right down.
But if you're making $50,000 on the video, $20,000 is just the price of doing business. Tristan says people can find it hard to be kind and lend a hand because of the negative portrayal of the homeless and people in need. Tristan, you were 100% right. This is why what I was saying earlier is still so valid, in that it shouldn't be a thing. Like, if homeless people weren't constantly portrayed as money grumbers or fakers, which unfortunately there's been a few out there, or people who are going to rob/kill you. Maybe people who are going to work would be more happy to hand over some change, or be more vocal against this hostile architecture that they put up, and be more willing to put more money into. Sorry, go ahead, AC.
And they're homeless because no one wants to live with them.
Yeah, if I were homeless,
be aware of that.
If I were homeless and constantly thought of as the dredges of human society, I might be a bit of a cranky arsehole too.
Oh, yeah, maybe not. I don't know. I think that after you've lived a little while amongst the homeless, you tend to find there is, for example, a homeless lad cruising around my neck of woods at the moment, and he has a book on him, and in his book is how much money the other homeless that are begging around the place where I live owe him, and he's basically standing over all of the homeless around my area. And so myself and a few others, basically, we whenever we get the opportunity to see him with his book out, take a couple of photographs and hand them on to the police. And if we can ever get close enough to see the homeless people handing him money while he's booking them up, he will get done for being a toe cutter to the homeless. He is a complete bastard. And I managed to get him into jail a little while ago because he hit me.
Lit you or hit you?
Hey?
You said lit me or hit me?
Hit with a hurt.
Why did he hit you?
Because I yelled at him. And lots and lots of people got it on video. And he didn't expect me to press any charges, and I did. And the judge said, "You're in front of me again. You're going to jail." So they stuck him in jail for like 2 months, and he was very unhappy. And he sneers
I
at
can't
me
imagine somebody being happy about going to jail.
Well, no one's real happy about going to jail. I mean, I've been in remand and scared shit out of me, and that's kiddie jail. That's that's baby prison. I
just got this
gay baby jail.
Horrible. No, just got this horrible mentality of a bunch of grown men with tattoos and the typical jail look, all with pacifiers in their mouth, going, "It's baby jail."
Baby jail. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's nice jail, and it's still scary as hell. And when you go to a big person's jail, it's like, no, I just want to be in a corner. So you don't do anything wrong because you go to jail and you won't like it.
Many moons ago, AZ, I was actually a cop. So
right.
I went from one in a job where the chances of me going to jail were fairly minute, but getting out of the police force, I still feel, for me personally, was the best thing I ever did.
Well, yeah, it's good for your soul. It depends on which attitude you take in too. I mean, policeman.
I went in with the attitude that arresting somebody for having drugs on their person wasn't acceptable. I went in with the mentality that people who were heavily addicted to various substances didn't need punishment; they needed treatment.
That's the thing. Yes.
Radical ideas, though.
All the good cops quit.
Some of the guys that I work with, they agreed with my point of view, but they weren't anywhere near as vocal about it or as passionate about it as I was. They would do their level best to not go against their own moral codes in regards to dealing with members of the public, but especially these days, a lot of the autonomy for police officers has been taken away from them as well.
Yeah.
They are, in a lot of circumstances, they're no longer allowed to practice their own self-judgment on a situation. They're told by the higher ups, if this situation is occurring, you must do this, period. And if they don't, they're going to get in trouble and all of these sorts of different things.
And
that's
of course,
the problem.
The cameras are double-edged in the sense that it protects the copper from the he said, she said, which is great. That's fucking awesome. There's so little he said, she said goes on in Victoria nowadays because as soon as the crim goes, oh, you know, I got fucking beaten up and blah, blah, blah. And they said that I was a scumbag. And I said, let's take it to the camera. And the camera says, no, that didn't happen. And the crims are virtually videoed from the time they're encountered until the time they're put in the holding cell. And then the video in the holding cell takes over. So the he said, she said goes out the window, which is great. And also coppers who do like to put in a couple for the road are prevented from doing so, which is great. But it does wipe out a lot of the discretionary treatment of your coppers who go, yeah, old Mary who's just shot up tonight's supply of heroin in the pouring rain, lying outside in the cold, probably wouldn't go astray from a bit of fortification to try and get some sleep tonight. You know, in the doorway of the shopping mall. There's a lot of times when the coppers, especially on very cold nights in the colder parts of Australia, will go and arrest the homeless for being miscreant criminals, evil old lags who are obviously up to no good, and lock them up for the night on all kinds of charges.
I see it mainly in highway patrol now. There was a time not long, about 4 or 5 months ago, a friend of mine had just come back. Try that again. This was last year before the pandemic hit. He had come over from America for the first time in like 12 years and went out to pick him up so that he could come out and say hello to all of the old friends. His where he was staying was all the way out the other side of Sydney at a place called Hornsby, which is like a good 1.5 to 2 hour drive from where I live. Picking him up, driving back towards where we were going, was going through all of these back streets and all of that. And I got out onto a main road. I saw 60, so I set my cruise control at 60. Next thing I know, I've got the red and blues behind me. I'm like, okay, it might be an RBT or whatever. Pull over straight away, of course. And the cop comes up and tells me that it's a school zone that I was apparently in, even though I didn't see the school zone signs. And he got me for doing 55 in a 40 zone. And when he looked at my license, he was like, oh, you're not from around here. I'm like, no, I've never driven around here before. And he was like, yeah, well, either way, the camera's got you. It automatically produces the tickets now, so there's nothing I could do about it. Expect the fine in the mail.
Dang.
And there's no 40 sign, which you can. Have you got a dash cam going at all?
I do, but turns out that there was a singular school sign that I did drive past, but I just didn't see it because we came out onto the main road off a little back road type deal, you know, just one of those things where it was easy enough to miss. Like it was an honest mistake that anybody could make.
If you're going to have a 40 zone, it should be posted 40, 40, 40, 40.
Because it is this automatic thing. Like I swear to God that if it wasn't an automatic thing, that cop would have been like, yeah, no, I can see that it was an honest mistake. Have a lovely day and sent me on my way. But no, because it's not an automatic thing, he doesn't have that discretion anymore. And it is something that I absolutely stand against, is taking away those discretionary powers of the police who are actually out there doing the job.
I agree with you in that sense. Absolutely. I also think that it's the double edging of discretion, those same discretionary powers allow cops to beat the shit out of people while no one's looking.
No, I'm all for the cameras. No, don't get me wrong. I'm all for the body cameras. Just that, if they, like, say in my circumstance, if that cop was like, okay, have a lovely day, that when his commanding officer or the higher up saw that, they turn around and go, yep, okay, fair cop, whatever. If he sees old Mary that has just shot up the last, heroin fix that she had and she's lying down in the thing, and he decides to get her a blanket as opposed to arresting her, they kind of go, okay, so he's done the right thing there. He's been a humanitarian as opposed to an arsehole, so this is good.
Well, see,
I'm all for the body cameras. It's just the autonomy taken away.
This is something that you can have when you have a federal government that's not into fucking
crime and punishment.
When you have a federal government that tries to run the country like a business rather than a service, then you lose all that discretionary power. Yeah. You're absolutely right. This is where you get commanders coming and saying you must do it this way and not that way.
Yeah. Sorry, can we just take a moment just to check out that ice cube in Angry's cup there?
I was going to say 2 things. Check out how good my ice is.
That
my
looks
beautiful clear ice.
That is really good ice.
Now. So that's pretty cool. Second is it's after 10 o'clock and I'm going to bed.
Okay.
So I've got to work tomorrow.
Nighty-night.
Good night, Angry. Thank you for bringing on the Angry Bunch. I'm going to be hanging around if you guys want to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So and everyone watching, you don't get to watch anymore because I'm switching off the stream because I am Satan himself. Good night.